Smile. Oh, what?
Only time of the day I get to spend on my own. I was tripping off high, used to sleep at your crib. Should drive out right where you live and pick you up on the way. We ain't spoken so long, probably put me in the past. I can still get you wet and I can still make you laugh. You should call in to work if that ain't too much to ask. I could pour you up a drink or we could burn some. Come through, come through, come through, come through. Girl, you know we got things to do.
So I want to preface this video with saying you do not need to lose weight to be beautiful. This is not that type of account nor that type of content. So if you're looking for that, please exit. Here I'm supporting and uplifting people as well as building healthy habits, because weight loss is never necessarily the goal. It's about being healthier and feeling more confident in yourself. So if you're wondering how I got to where I got, please continue watching. Hey guys, restart. Hi loves, my name is LaRue and welcome to my channel. I lost 90 pounds in a year and a half, and this is how I was able to do it. I first want to start with providing you all with some background information, because I know the journey can be incredibly difficult, especially if you're coming from a higher size trying to get down to a smaller size. It's hard just understanding the process and really understanding the intricacies of weight loss, because oftentimes it isn't explained to us other than you just need to eat less and work out to lose weight, when in reality it's a whole mental journey that you go on to lose the weight. When I had started my weight loss journey, I didn't think I was going to make it this far, let alone lose this amount of weight. I just wanted to lose something, and to get this far was surprising for myself. But I did some things that made the journey a lot easier, which I want to share with you all. To provide some background, I was born and raised in California until I moved to Texas at the age of 12. I used to be 130 pounds when I moved to Texas at the age of 12, where I thought I was overweight, and that body dysmorphia fed into me gaining weight as well. So from the age of 12 up until the age of 18, I had skyrocketed in my weight from 130 pounds to 220 pounds. And in between high school, I was fluctuating up and down because I was going on different fad diets and different diets trying to lose weight. So when I say I've lost weight and I've done it all, I pretty much have done it all mostly. And that kind of informed how I lost weight this time, because I wanted to keep it off for the longevity, one. And two, if you make it a lifestyle, you're not going to have trouble keeping it off for the longevity of it all. So I think a lot of times on YouTube, we can see people losing weight and gaining weight and losing weight over and over because they're not implementing it into their lifestyle. They're going and doing these diets thinking it's going to come off real quick, and then in reality it just comes right back on, because that's not how life works. I think especially when I was growing up, at least I was always taught things that come quick, leave fast. So a lot of times you have to remember that when going into a weight loss journey. So I had both types of body dysmorphia, where you thought you were overweight and smaller than what you actually were. So I think that was part of the reason during high school I just kept fluctuating up and down in weight, because I really wasn't aware of where I was at. So by the time I recognized I was overweight, I was already at 220, and it was just felt like a big jump. It felt like a big journey, because it was no longer like, oh, I need to lose this amount of weight. It just kept rising, because that's what happens when you do fad diets. The process never gets easier. It's just a matter of you going in circles. So for me, the biggest and most critical thing was recognizing that it was a habit and that this was happening, and recognizing what I could do to change that, or at least stop this from continuing to be a circle, because I never actually got back down to the size I was. I just kept going in circles or getting close enough, but never actually there, because I wasn't doing habits that were actually sustainable. Like right when I got close enough to my goal weight, I'd step on the scale and be like, okay, I'm almost there, let me go get some food. Be for real. I do want to say that I've been vegan since I was 13, and I think part of that contributed to my weight gain. Surprisingly, I think oftentimes creators aren't transparent about different diets and the effect they can have on your life. So when going vegan, you're eating a lot more carbs, you're eating a lot more starchy foods and things of that nature, and it can easily become your main source of food. So I think it's recognizing that, one, starch isn't a meal all alone, and then two, adding more whole foods back to your diet. When I was in high school, when I went vegan, I purely went vegan for the animals, so my health wasn't of importance. I was eating candy, I was eating pasta, and I was just eating foods that weren't good for me. And for some reason, I thought I would maintain my body the same way I had maintained it in the past by being vegan, but in reality, like, I wasn't eating correctly nor properly. I was eating 10 bananas a day, I was eating pasta, I was eating candy. And while I felt full, I just kept eating and eating, and it was more so binge eating than anything else. And I think I would kept binge eating because I wasn't getting the nutrients I needed from the diet. And they don't tell kids when you're watching YouTubers and different people like, oh wait, you need to learn nutrients before you try to jump and do these diets. So I'm still vegan to this day, but for me it was recognizing that I need to create a vegan diet that's full of whole foods and not just simply candy or pasta or like even Oreos or like certain foods where you can eat 2 of those items and be good for the day, because calorically those are heavy, but health-wise those aren't giving you any nutrients. And I was so tired but never full. And I think that correlation or understanding that connection is like, wait, that's when it clicks. You understand that these foods aren't going to make you full, and therefore you're going to continue overeating. You're going to continue being tired because you're not getting what you need. And once you get what you need from the food, it's like, wait a minute, I can eat what I want and still be at a good place because you're not overeating no more. And I think that is that connection. So I started my weight loss journey towards the end of my freshman year of college during COVID, July of 2020. During that time, I was able to self-isolate and really sit with myself and understand how I had gotten to that point. So the question I asked myself was how I had gotten to 220 pounds, how I've gained the weight. And by asking myself that question, I was able to self-evaluate and see what wasn't contributing to my weight loss, as well as identify triggers. So something that had caused me to gain weight was binge eating. And by identifying that, I was able to really take things out of my life that were going to contribute to my weight gain, as well as start on a path that would allow me to lose weight for the longevity and really heal my relationship with food, rather than trying to go on another diet or really do something else to deflect from the actual problem of me overeating. So what I did was I started intuitive eating and eating foods I enjoyed and really enjoyed, rather than just eating to overeat and eating junk food. So what I did is add in more whole foods, add in more veggies, and really build whole plates of food rather than just a snack and count that as a meal. Because if you're eating an Oreo as a meal rather than a plate of food as a meal, then those are 2 completely different things calorically and health-wise. I didn't count calories because I didn't need to count calories if I was eating whole foods, as well as that was going to be a trigger for me. And I think by identifying binge eating as something that contributed to my weight gain, I was able to identify these different triggers that I didn't want to be involved in my weight loss journey, because numbers are too hard for me. At least I know I could count calories and make the journey a lot easier and really see the weight fall off, but in reality, is that going to be the long run? Am I going to do that every day for the next 100 years? And if that is a no for you, then I wouldn't count calories. 2, I didn't weigh myself. When I weighed myself, it was something that triggered me, and oftentimes, even if I was doing good or bad, it didn't matter because I was gonna get some food. Like, let's be for real, like, it did not matter whether it goes up or down. And I think oftentimes when people start losing weight, they change their whole life around weight loss, when in reality, they should continue living how they live and just make healthier habits, because it makes it more sustainable and it makes it so you can lose weight in the long run, rather than, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna lose weight. And once you lose motivation, the weight loss journey is over. But if you lose motivation, it doesn't matter, because you wake up every day and you're going to have those healthier habits, and regardless of if you're motivated or not, you're still going to go to the gym. Regardless of if you're motivated or not, you're still going to eat healthy. Regardless of if you're motivated or not, you're going to eat breakfast and you're going to eat lunch and you're going to eat dinner and have a great day, rather than trying to skip a meal and add in something else to compensate. Or oftentimes you want to skip this and then end up binge eating. So I think by identifying your triggers and what causes you to gain weight, it can make the journey a lot easier. So some steps I took to make my weight loss journey easier was, 1, to throw out the scale. I didn't weigh myself. I knew weighing myself was a trigger, and whether I did good or bad, I was still going to celebrate, and oftentimes that celebration reversed any progress I made. So by eliminating the scale, I was able to see my progress visually rather than relying on a number that would often trigger me. 2, I started intuitive eating, basically eating what I wanted and eating healthier portions of that food. By eating what I wanted rather than trying to eat healthier foods and then ending up binge eating and eating worse, I was able to really accomplish my goals and make it a lifestyle. Oftentimes people try to restrict, and then that causes them to gain weight in the long run because it's not sustainable. And 3, I built healthier habits overall. Incorporate the gym or some type of exercise. Whether you want to or not, that was just something I did to receive the results I got. So for my results, I went to the gym. It was 3 to 5 times a week sometimes, and sometimes it wasn't for 2 weeks. So I think it's finding consistency and some type of balance, because eventually it becomes enjoyable and you do go and do what you need to do. So for my weight loss journey, I went to the gym, and that allowed me to not have loose skin, as well as have momentum, because even if I don't feel like going, sometimes I would still go, or some days I wouldn't go. But I think at the end of the day, it's really depending on yourself and really holding yourself accountable, because you're all you'll have during this journey. So really being honest with yourself and really listening to your body when you don't want to go, and going when you want to go, but at the same time understanding that that is something you're going to have to make a part of your routine if you want to receive a certain amount of results.
I better find your loving, I better find your heart, I better find, give all my love and nothing Nothing's gonna tear us apart.
So in terms of my diet, I still did eat what I enjoyed and what I wanted to, simply because I'm a college student and it can be difficult restricting everything. So I just made healthier habits and I stopped trying to eat junk food and chips and things of that nature as much, and really enjoyed whole foods so I could eat the entire plate and not feel as bad rather than eating just junk. So what I mean by that is I would still go out and get Chipotle, but maybe I wouldn't have the whole portion. I would have half the bowl that day because they do make them pretty heavy. Or maybe I would go to a Chinese restaurant and still eat that, but that's one meal and it's not all 3 junk food, because what caused me to gain weight was binge eating. And I want to emphasize that because oftentimes people get online and they're not realistic about what caused them to gain weight. So they may do one thing and lose weight like this or see immediate results, when in reality everyone's weight loss isn't going to be the same because they weren't doing the same habits to gain weight. When I was overweight, I was eating a whole can of vegan cinnamon rolls or like whole bag of chips, like a family size bag, not a regular bag. So I think oftentimes it's being realistic about where you came from and what you're eating now that makes the entire difference. Because of course, if I was eating a huge bag of chips, I was going to gain weight. So now when I eat a whole bowl of Chipotle or half a bowl of Chipotle, it's a lot healthier. So when I say intuitive eating, I think it's really breaking down how much food is actually healthy and how much food is not healthy but just calorically dense and not actually filling you up. And I think when we talk about food density, that goes into this a lot. How dense is your food? How much is it filling you up? How much is on your plate? Because sometimes we do eat with our eyes, and sometimes you want a big plate of food, but if you want a big plate of food, you need to add more veggies rather than just adding more pasta, which may not always fill you up necessarily if you're not hitting all the pinpoints. Because I'm vegan and I've been vegan since I was 13, I think something I struggled with was making sure I was consistently hitting my nutrients. And since I wasn't getting my nutrients in, then I would oftentimes look at chips or junk food or candy to fill that hole, when in reality I needed to eat a plate of food or eat a plate of veggies to really fill me up. And I think understanding the difference between hunger and a snack, or the difference between a snack really and a plate of food, is really important. Like a snack is 2 Oreos, but a plate of food is not going to be a plate of Oreos. A plate of food is going to be your protein and your veggies and some starch. I didn't cut out carbs. I didn't really cut out anything. And I think everyone's diet is going to be completely different. But at the same time, if you're coming from eating 3 bowls of pasta and then you're trying to switch that over to just a salad, that's not going to work. And that didn't work for me. I'm still going to have a plate of pasta, but I'm going to have a salad alongside it instead of 3 plates of pasta and no salad. So I think it's really about moderation and understanding what's going to work for your lifestyle. I'm a college student. I'm not cutting out everything because that's not realistic. So yeah. What really helps me was being consistent. I think understanding that it's not gonna fall off overnight, and it's not even gonna fall off today, but it's gonna come off eventually. Will get you to where you wanna be at. Don't rely on the scale, and don't rely on counting calories to get to where you wanna be, because it's not consistent. Thank you for watching my video. If you guys have any additional questions, please drop them below and subscribe.